Entertainment and social responsibility amidst the COVID-19 pandemic, today on the Can Geek YouTube channel. Hey everyone, what's going on? It's Scott here from Can Geek Games and Collectibles. Welcome as always to the Can Geek YouTube channel. And it's Saturday, March the 21st. Today we are talking about entertainment and social responsibility during the COVID-19 pandemic. And more specifically, we're talking about the decision that was made by EB Games Canada to open their stores yesterday for the release of Doom and Animal Crossing. Now, as some of you may know, I'm actually a former EB Games manager. I worked for this company for almost 7 years, and in my time with them, I probably went through almost 60 different big video game releases and big console releases. So I have a very firm grasp of how busy some of their releases can be. I did midnight launches for them. I did console releases, including the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. I ran the gauntlet with them. I have a very firm understanding of how their stores operate and how busy their stores can get during these type of events. And I have to tell you, their decision to open yesterday for the release of Doom and Animal Crossing, especially during this pandemic, in my opinion, was not the socially responsible thing to do. Now, there's some of you that are going to say that I'm a former employee that's bitter and everything that I'm about to say is sour grapes. It's not. Actually, I look back on my time with EB fondly, and I'll tell you why. Because if it had not been for my time with EB, Can Geek Games and Collectibles would not exist today. I learned a lot from that company. What I learned from that company helped to develop what Can Geek Games and Collectibles is today. And in some ways, it helps to lay the roadmap for where Can Geek Games and Collectibles hopes to head in the future. In short, what I am doing and what my wife is doing with Can Geek now is in direct response to my time with EB, so I'm grateful for that because now I get to do what I love and I'm doing it for myself. Having said that, here in Ontario, our provincial government placed a ban earlier this week on any public events that would exceed 50 attendees. This was done directly to slow down the curve of the spread of the COVID-19 virus. By choosing to open and host this launch event, EB was in direct contradiction to a ban placed by our government and was basically slapping the public health officials that had recommended this ban in the face, suggesting that they knew better. Now, there could be an argument made here that in times like this, we need entertainment to distract us from what's going on. I'm not going to deny that. It's true. You know, what's going on in the world right now is kind of scary. There's, a lot of uncertainty surrounding COVID-19 and what we should be expecting to happen next. That doesn't mean that you go out and flirt with disaster again by hosting one of these events. It means you err on the side of caution. It means you come up with alternative means of putting these pre-ordered games in the hands of your customers, like maybe directly shipping them to their front door, just as an example. As a parent, I find this offensive as well. Doom is not a game that younger children will be going out to EB to buy, but it's definitely a game that, teenagers and young adults are going to be going to EB to buy. Animal Crossing, on the other hand, is a game that I can definitely see younger children motivating their parents to go out and pick up for them. By choosing to host this event, EB not only put its employees' health and safety in jeopardy, but the safety of their customers in jeopardy as well. And there's no doubt in my mind that this decision was made based on money. Nothing else. Money. Now, as a small business owner, I understand the need to generate money to continue operating. As an example, CanGeek was supposed to be vending at Breakout Con 2020 this weekend, which is one of the largest board game conventions of its kind in Canada. This event was supposed to take place at the Sheridan Centre in downtown Toronto. The organizers of this event pulled the plug last week due to social responsibility. They knew that their attendance was usually hundreds upon hundreds of people, crammed into very tight spaces. They didn't want to run the risk of anyone getting sick and being responsible for it, so they postponed their event until October of this year. Niagara Falls Comic-Con, which is a free-day event that was supposed to take place in June. We are registered to vend at that event. We received an email from them yesterday. They are postponing that Comic-Con until September of 2020, again, due to social responsibility. COVID-19 is a big deal. As a small business owner, again, I have a lot of inventory right now that isn't moving. It's not, going to events. It's not being sold. It's not generating revenue. It's cutting into our ability to operate on a daily basis, to run our web store and do the multiple other things that we do at CanGeek Games and Collectibles. But I'll tell you, I will prioritize the safety of my family over making money all the time. All the time. So, yes, it's kind of disappointing that we can't do these events right now, but it is what it is. The reason I say that is because we're a small business. EB Games Canada is owned by GameStop, the world's largest video game retailer. GameStop is the benchmark by which all other game retailers set themselves. So, yes, they need money to continue operating as much as I do as a small business, but they've got a lot more of it than I do. And with that in mind, again, as I said, there were other ways that these games could have been put into the hands of the customers that had pre-ordered them that would not have jeopardized the safety of their employees or their customers. Now, here's the irony. When I first heard this story, it was reported by the Toronto Star Friday morning. I then saw a video of, this release that was published by City Pulse News. I'm actually going to include a link to that in the description down below. You should consider checking it out. I was, again, kind of disgusted with what I was saying, and very impassionately I stated to some people on social media that EB Games should suffer the consequences of what was truly a poor decision in the middle of a pandemic. I suggested that they should be fined, or the provincial government should step in and insist that they close all of their Ontario stores until further notice. Here's the irony. Late Friday night, EB Games announced that they were closing all of their Canadian stores until further notice, while the world came to terms with the realities of COVID-19. So they skirted away from that one. A former colleague of mine that I used to work with at EB Games sent me a private message on Facebook detailing what the actual laws were related to what EB did on Friday. The long and short of it is, based on current provincial laws, the most that EB Games would be fined for their activity on Friday would be approximately $3,000. So again, it came down to money. So consider this. Consider this the next time you're going out to buy a video game. Will the activities that EB Games Canada took part in on Friday, March the 20th, 2020, in the height of a global pandemic, influence your decision for who you shop with when you go out to buy that video game? Are you more likely to go to Walmart and buy it? Are you more likely to buy it from Best Buy? Will you buy it digitally through an online source? Or will you continue to shop with EB Games Canada? There is no right, no wrong answer here. We're all entitled to our opinions, but I would love to hear what your opinion is on this particular subject. So leave us a comment down below. In the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll talk again soon. Until then, ciao.